Lazarusman, also known as the Lazarusman in certain parts of the world. But yeah, I'm a poet, writer, DJ, and just general. I think I'm a nice guy. Yo, like I've grown with time. I used to be really dismal all the time. You know, like and you know, poets were like, a lot of poets I know are like this. Like we just you know, I always steal this line from Gandalf that, you know, that a poet is never late or never early. He arrives precisely when he means to. Gandalf said that in The Hobbit. He was like, a wizard is never late, he's never early, he arrives. But time has become focal now because, you know, the older I've gotten, I've realized what a commodity it is. You know, in the past, like I've watched DJs, you know, mostly a lot of times my friends, when we play music at home and when we play music to people, there's such a difference. Like at home, we're sitting there, like we're vibing to the jams, we're like yo, yo, yo. But as soon as people get in front of the decks, like everyone's so serious and no one moves like to the music and the knobs. And that created like a gap between like that, the interaction of like DJs and people. And I think that there's a gap. And most of the times I've watched my favorite DJs play and it's just like so like stoic and controlled, and I'm like, whoa man, we're having the time of our lives. Are you? So if I'm having fun, I figure like it's easier for people to have fun with me at the same time. So that's where that interaction comes from, because if I dance and if I play a track that I really like, I'll probably move a lot more than I usually would, and people can notice that, and I'm like, and people can see that and they appreciate that as well. So I think it's important, and it changes the mood and the feeling of the room and the performances 90% of the time. It works for me. If I really want something, like I kind of get really anxious about it, but I can wait things out. But I'd rather things happen now than that's it, finished. You know what I'm saying? I'm that type of person. Like my personality is like that. We do things like that, and you know, like very spontaneous things. I think of things on the spot. You know, particularly like it's even in the way that I produce music half the time. You know, like I don't enjoy the crafting part of music, like where we sit and we make sure that everything is perfect. And like I get genuine, I'm like, finish it, right? You know, because I usually just go in with, because I don't write any of my poems, so I just usually just go in like with head of mind and then say whatever I'm thinking at the time and then bounce. And then send that to like the producers, and then they spend like whatever time they need to make it perfect. Poets are quite verbose. People use big words. There's a lot of grandiloquent usage of language in poetry. And I was just literally trying to explain simple ideas using simple language that everyone understands, and that was the challenge. Secondly, creatively, I think it's also not coming from a musical background and then trying to make music. You know, I had no interest in being a muser. I won't lie. Like this literally is something that I woke up one day and I was like, that's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? I was like, let me just send, like, I sent like poems to like my favorite artist, you know, and he was like, oh, this is cool. And he made songs, and then, you know, 10 years later, I'm here, you know, performing and being a DJ. So it was that trying to understand which bar to come in, how to, like, you know, just learning music as a whole, you know, and then being able to play that music for people in a way that shows that you have a fundamental understanding of what you're doing. Those were my two challenges, but you know, we got there and people like the style. I think I'm a fairly good DJ. I hate the fact that my career is hinged on how many likes I get on a particular post. Like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, like, you know, I didn't need this. You know, people were just finding our music, you know what I'm saying? But now, if your Instagram's not doing well, if your Twitter's not doing well, if you don't have enough followers, there's a likelihood that you may not get the booking. You know what I'm saying? Like it works to your detriment. But if you are curating it well, you know, you're taking a few like great snaps, like you show up in another country, like, hello, Amsterdam. People go, oh my God, he's doing so well. You know what I'm saying? So it is. I get its necessity, like it helps you connect with your people and your audience members, and it keeps things alive. But at this point in time, it's too much is hinging on it, you know, for us to truly be able to gauge how truly successful people are, like how well they're actually doing. You know what I'm saying? Like and it's annoying. And again, it's such a double-edged sword, because on my part, I connected with a lot of the producers and artists that I worked through Facebook. that was when Facebook was Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like when Facebook was early days, when people had 3 friends. You know, like that's how I connected with people. Like I was writing to my producers when the platform was still new. But now it's nearly impossible to talk to artists, to talk to people that you love. I'm the worst, best dancer in the world. You know, like I do things that I don't do particular dances, but I just like have a bit of a groove, like a shake, like a hands in the air. You know, like I have like a rolling. You know, it's like I don't know what I'm doing, but it's just flow, and people just go, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I know you like it." That's just literally, it works.